What is going on, Turd Nerds? Matt here with Operator Mindset, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about wintertime aeration. You mean I got to change my aeration rate when it gets cold outside? The bugs, they need less air when it's cold outside? In this video, we're going to be talking about aeration rates in the colder weather, what you could do to potentially save on energy cost at the plant, and even make sure your process is performing even better by not over aerating the bugs. We're going to discuss hot air versus cold air and have a bona fide official experiment just for you to help kind of prove what I'm talking about. Hopefully it proves it. It could just be kind of just me in the lab doing an experiment, I guess. Before we get into the video, make sure you are subscribed to the Operator Mindset YouTube channel. Click the little red bear in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And as always, if you like the merch that I'm wearing in the videos, check out our Shopify store, operatormindset.org, where you can pick up shirt, hoodie, sticker, coffee cup, whatever's in your budget and whatever you fancy. Check that out today. Let's get into the video. All right, guys, so wintertime aeration. What's the explanation? The simple explanation is the air is more dense. That's a wrap. Let's get out of here. Good day, folks. Great job. What's that mean? The air is more dense? Well, the molecules out there that make up the air, the O2 molecule, is just like us and the bugs. When it's cold outside, what do? What do our bugs do? They hunker down. They're not as active. They don't want to go out there and stretch their legs. The bugs reproduce less. They eat less. They just want to hunker down and stay warm. And that is the same thing the O2 molecule does. When it's cold outside, it gets heavier, more dense. It actually compacts itself. It sticks closer together. It doesn't bounce off as much. This denser air or thicker air is what the blower is actually putting out there to your aeration. As opposed to when it's hot air. When it's hot outside, we want to go outside. We want to be more active, just like our bugs. When it's warm, they're more active, they reproduce more, they're eating more. All of that action requires a lot more oxygen that they're uptaking in there. Means an increase in your DO. And your blower is trying to provide that air by pumping more air to it. The outside temperature and temperature of the water is one of the biggest factors regarding oxygen solubility. When it's colder outside, when the water temperature is lower, the water can hold more DO. As opposed to during the summer, when the water and the temperature is warmer, the water has a lower oxygen holding capacity. This is why in the summertime, you are at an increased risk of under aerating your bugs. Your blower is trying to work overtime to provide that amount of air, only it's a little harder to do because the air is so much thinner. Whereas in the wintertime, you could be unintentionally over aerating in your aeration basin because your blower is able to deliver a large amount of air and the water itself can hold a lot more air. Now let's run over to the laboratory and we're going to show you an official experiment, bona fide that is, meaning it's going to prove exactly what I'm saying is correct. In the experiment, we're going to be using a ping pong ball and a marble. How's he going to relate this to air? I don't know. Let's go find out. All right, Turd Nerds. For this example, we're going to use these two settleometers. Now, we are going to pretend that the settleometer on the left is cold weather conditions, and the settleometer on the right is hot weather conditions. So, we are going to add the exact same amount of air. Remember, the ping pong ball is the exact same amount of air as the marble. The only difference is the marble is the cold air. It's nice, tight, compact, and a little bit heavier. And the ping pong ball here is lighter. It is bigger. It is more expanded. So this is hot air, and this is your cold air. We are going to add the exact same amount of air. They're the exact same, only one's hot and one's cold. to our aeration basins in front of you, and we are going to see how much more or less they are filled with the same amount of air, the only change being the temperatures. All right, that being said, let's add our air to our aeration basins. We have our cold weather here. And our hot weather. And I don't think it gets any better than that. As you can tell from this amazing experiment you just witnessed before your eyes, the same amount of air was delivered to our cold weather basin as our hot weather basin. But in the cold weather, you could see how easy it would be for me to over-aerate this basin because I can fit a lot more air in here just to get it to this same level, right? It's going to require a whole lot more air to get it to this level. I should say require a lot more marbles, in turn over-aerating your basin, because as we established in the beginning of the experiment, this one marble is equivalent to the same amount of air as this one ping pong ball. And then you can tell in the summertime months how the air is expanded. It's going to be a lot thinner, a lot lighter. Think about it like this. It's a lot easier for me to grab a handful of marbles and have a lot more air in my hand, whereas I could not grab the same amount of ping pong balls with that same handful. That's exactly what your blower is going through in the winter months and the summer months. It's a lot easier for it to grab a lot of air, to send a lot of air into the basin, and in the summer it's a lot thinner, it's a lot harder for it to grab that air and deliver the amount needed to your bugs, along with the fact that in the summertime the bug activity has increased, the reproduction's increased, activity has increased dramatically compared to the colder weather when everything's slowing way down and your bugs are not as active and consuming as much air. You have now been officially provided a scientific, genuine, official experiment proving that in the winter, your blower could be delivering too much air, and in the summer, you may not be delivering quite enough. All right, guys, so hopefully you now understand entirely, and the experiment was probably one of the
best you've ever seen in your life.
Let's talk about what's happening to your blower and then into your aeration basin, whether it's hot weather or cold weather. Starting with cold weather, let's talk about your blower. It loves the colder weather, the colder air that is. It's actually kind of good for it. It's easier for it to grab a hold of. Because that air is denser, it's able to actually provide more air. The water that it's pumping it to is able to hold more air. So your blower efficiency is actually going to increase. It's going to be able to provide a lot of air. However, let's talk about the aeration basin. In the wintertime, those colder months, that colder air and colder water, what happens to our microorganisms? They slow down. They're not as active. They reproduce less. They eat less. All of that requires less DO consumption, meaning they're not consuming as much DO. This is where that over-aeration could lead to unintentional over-aeration, meaning higher energy cost. You're just pumping that air out there and it's not really getting used. It's just going up through the water and going out. You could be saving that money or that air. Also, over-aeration has a process control effect, meaning the whole point of this process is for those bugs to flock together. We want them to actually combine and settle out. That is like the whole point of that process, is letting the stuff settle out and stay here inside the treatment process. However, over-aerating can cause flock shearing. It can just cause massive amounts of turbulence. And now when that mixed liquor goes into your secondary clarifier, you're not getting the right amount of settling. It's taking longer for it to settle. It's also a lot harder for the bugs and bacteria to flock together in the aeration basin and actually be able to consume and get their food and do what they're supposed to be doing. So during those cold weather months, you want to monitor your aeration rates, number one, to maybe save some energy. And then number two, make sure you're not just busting the flock up and keeping it from actually coming together and settling out like we want. Too much oxygen can be bad for your bugs. Now, let's talk about hot weather. Referring to our blower, it really does not like the hotter temperatures, that warmer weather. The air is a lot thinner. That O2 molecule speeds up, it fans out, it bounces off of each other. It's a lot harder for the blower to grab the air and send it to it. In some cases, our blowers could be working overtime just to deliver the amount of air needed in our aeration basin. We also know what happens in our aeration basin as the weather heats up. Our bugs become more active, they start eating more, they're reproducing more, there's more bugs in our system. All that activity, all the extra bugs, all of that is consuming more and more DO, meaning that blower is having to work harder and harder to grab the air and deliver what it needs, right? This is where a good wasting schedule comes into play, not allowing that biomass to build up and get out of control. By wasting some of that biomass out, we are actually decreasing the amount of air needed in the basin for all the microbiology to consume and do its job. For more on wasting, make sure you go check out our video, The Art of Wasting, which I will link in the video description. The biggest thing to remember here, guys, is that over aeration can be just as harmful as under aeration. If you're not giving your bugs enough air in those summer months when it's really hot outside, there's not enough air being delivered, you're going to have a lot lower DO. The bugs aren't going to have enough DO to be able to do their job. And the same in the wintertime. Putting too much air out there could be costing you higher energy bill, and it could be preventing the bugs from being able to flock together and settle out like we want them to do inside our process. And finally, just like in wasting, guys, figuring out your aeration rate is all about that balance. You as the operator. I don't know what kind of plant you have, but here our plant's 100% manual. You may run your plant in auto. Let's talk about that, right? Here in manual, we don't have a SCADA system. The only way that I know how much air is being delivered to my bugs out there in the basin is to actually go out there and run a DO profile. We do have some DO probes scattered out around, but what me and the other operator prefer to do is go out there and actually do a DO profile of each basin. I take our handheld DO probe and our chart, go out there and test in different spots throughout the basin, along with at different times during the day. The amount of air being consumed by the microorganisms in the morning may be less or way more than in the afternoon. What usually happens in the afternoon, right? The sun has been out longer. Things are starting to warm up. You may see an increase in DO usage in the afternoon as opposed to in the morning. That goes for whether it's cold weather or hot weather. Always good when running a DO profile to make sure you are mixing up those times and taking it throughout your day. But that is how we here at this facility are running our plant to ensure that we are either not over aerating in the winter or under aerating in the summer. Finding that balance for us is very important in making sure our bugs out there have everything they need to do their job. The better our process performs, the higher our effluent quality. And that's the name of the game. If you have a plant that runs itself in auto, meaning you have a state-of-the-art SCADA system, you have DO meters in your basin, you have VFDs on your blowers, so when it sees that it doesn't need as much air, if it gauges it off that DO and that water temperature, Your blower could actually turn itself down through your SCADA system, and that's fine too. But it's always good practice and a good idea if you have a SCADA system that does that already. That's pretty sweet. Always good practice for you as the operator to know how to run a DO profile, how to go out there in your plant and also verify that what you're reading on that screen right there is in fact what you got out there in your basin, because sometimes screens lie. Just saying. Whether your plant's in full-blown auto mode or it runs in manual just like mine, the name of the game is energy efficiency and high quality effluent. Make sure you are adjusting your aeration rates so that your process performs the best it can, producing the highest quality effluent, and be sure that you as the operator understand what you can do to help your bugs throughout this process. And always important to remember, every plant is different. If your aeration rates don't require a change, that's totally okay. But maybe this is something you could start implementing or go check to see if you're having some issues. Maybe you realize that in those winter months you really are struggling to settle. Maybe you got a lot higher TSS, your effluent's a lot cloudier. It could very well be that you're over aerating those bugs in your basin. Making those adjustments to your blower, small adjustments at a time, could help you improve your process and improve the quality of your final effluent. That's all I got for you today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you run your plant in manual or you have SCADA, please comment below. Let us know, what are you doing about your aeration rates during the wintertime in your basin? And as always, make sure you're subscribed to the Operator Mindset YouTube page, where you'll get to see videos just like this all the time. Check out our Shopify store at operatormindset.org. We'll see you on the next one. Turd Nerd out.